The other day I was in my art studio and I got a fancy new air quality monitor that I decided to buy just for safety reasons. And just for fun, I put it over my palette, my acrylic palette, and I found out apparently it's super hazardous. So I decided to go to my garage and conduct an experiment with all the variables being the same. The only thing that changes is the art supply. So same amount of quantity, time exposed, space, everything the same, and see what kind of results I got. And by the way, nothing in this video is sponsored. It's just to spread information and safety, and for also for my own experimental purposes, to see what art supply I should use in the future. So I'm going to be testing 5 different art supplies. I got the Liquitex glazing medium, the open thinner, the Zen Art oil paint, the open slow drying acrylics, and the golden fluid acrylics. And all these are going to have the same situation, so they're going to be in the same quantity in this container that, is fairly concealed from outside air. And they're going to be put in there so that, it's really kind of condensed, whatever the, air quality is. And this air quality monitors for VOCs, which are kind of like chemicals, formaldehyde, CO2, PM10s, and PM2.5s. But really, today we're going to be looking mostly at VOCs, which is the main thing that paints affects, and possibly formaldehyde. These are the two that came out very high in my everyday paints palette, and I'll be probably looking at closer. And as you can see here, we're in my garage, which is okay air, but we have this little happy face. Everything's looking pretty good, pretty clean air in here. A few days later, I also decided to do this exact same experiment with the natural earth paint also, so it'll be included. So I made sure to keep all the variables the same amount of art supply, and I tested out the bags, and everything was good readings with, just the air quality monitor in the bag, just as my, controlled test. And yeah, I put the paint in there. I waited the equal amount of time for each art supply and immediately got the readings. So best one came out surprisingly, the oil paints. These are the Zen Art non-toxic oil paints. Second came out the natural earth paints that I tested later on, which are crushed earth pigments. Then the golden open acrylics, they came out not so good. As you can see, the little face in the air quality monitor. Then golden open thinner, that's a thinning medium. Then the golden fluid acrylics, which are my favorite, not so good. And lastly, the Liquitex glazing medium came out absolutely horrible. So watch out, be careful with art supplies. So if you're an artist, consider getting an air quality monitor and having window open and a fan going, no matter what you're using, and especially mediums. Be super careful with various types of glazing mediums. I completely do not use oil paint solvents, wood oil paint solvents. Those would, just be absolutely over the roof terrible. But yeah, I'm really surprised. I thought, honestly, that the oil paints were not going to come out so good, but they ironically came out number 1. And my supposedly what I thought were pretty healthy acrylics came out pretty bad. So always test. That shows the power of science and testing stuff. We never really know until we test.